I guess I can start it since I never started anymore.
Okay. How are you gonna do it?
I guess just say, "Hi, how are you?"
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
This is the New Leaf Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 30 of the New Leaf Podcast. This is episode 30, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. I'm Christian, and I'm joined once again, unfortunately, by Taylor.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, that's Taylor's thing now, is saying...
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, that. Anyways, yet again, we are not joined by our other host, Tyler and Tanner. Tyler, he's just a busy guy. They got a lot going on.
It's also I'm not sure if this had anything to do with it because he didn't tell us why, but this week is our church's homecoming. So he might be like the anniversary. No, like the anniversary of the church. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? That makes sense. Like we have like a big old, we have like a service, like a lot of like a funny, not funny, like fancy, not even fancy, just special services today. Holy crap! I couldn't think of the word. Like special services because of just the anniversary of our church, and we have a group that always comes and music and special all that. It's very fun.
Yeah, why is it called a homecoming?
I don't know. Why is homecoming in school called homecoming?
I don't know. I never went to.
Well, then don't ask me that question.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's what I'm assuming. The reason he's not here. I'm not
Do
sure
they
if I
do
should
stuff
assume.
like all day?
Kind of. I mean, his dad is pretty involved, like with their Sunday school class. Like he runs a lot of the stuff, so they might be doing some kind of crap at their house, kind of deal. So I'm not really sure.
Some kind of church crap.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's good.
Yep. So
he's making better choices than we are, I guess.
I mean, if I had to do it, I would be there. So, I mean, if I had that, opportunity to be there, I would be there. But
Yep.
I live in Hawaii, so.
All right.
Anyways,
we're gonna talk about something, probably some video games, this week. Right after we talk about what's been going on this week with you, Taylor.
well, let me tell you. On the last week's episode, I mentioned that I was gonna go up on that board in front of those people,
Yeah.
and do that thing. So that happened, and it was really. I mean, I hate to be whatever. Like, I'm not really nervous ever about anything. And I really wasn't about this thing, but I mean, it's kind of a big deal. So I was a little bit nervous, but then once I got in there and sat down, it was just like easy peasy because I'm really good at talking to people. So I just did my thing. Apparently, when I came out of the room, I looked like I was so hyped up and happy. The lady that was out there like telling us what to do once we go in the room and stuff. She just put her fist out to give me a fist bump, and I was like, I don't know if I should accept this fist bump from you, but I guess I will. I was like, I don't know you, but sure. So I did that. So I mean that happened, and I mean nothing really in my life.
Did you win or?
We don't know yet. They have not told us yet, so that's pretty nerve-wracking right now. That's more nerve-wracking than freaking doing the actual thing.
Yeah.
So, because I had 3 friends on it going up against me, so we all kind of want to know. I think out of I forget how many. I think I said a number last week and I was wrong. But even though I've heard a couple different numbers of how many people that were up against us.
You said
But,
last time you said...
I said 26 people with 4 stripes is what I said last time.
Yeah, and would you say only like 3 people get it?
Yeah, only it's like either 3 or 4 people get it out of 26. But then this week I talked to somebody and they're like, yeah, there was 60 of us on the board. And I was like, there were 60 of us. I'm like, well, that changes everything. So you just take like 15% of 60. If that's the number, 60, then 15% of 60 gets a stripe. And I'm not really sure. You know, I just don't really feel like doing math at this point in time. But I would say that's like 7 or 8, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyways, so we'll see. I know that there's like a big, we have these things called all calls where we all have to, like the whole base has to meet at different times and kind of talk to a special visitor who's coming. And usually they'll announce things like this at those type of deals. So that's tomorrow. So we'll see if they release any information. But besides that, just been kind of waiting anxiously for that. So what about you?
I did pretty much nothing this week except work because I worked mid shifts this week, which means I worked from 10 to 7 instead of my normal shift, which is 4 to 1. So my sleep schedule is like all jacked up. Like I'd get home and I'd be tired by 8 o'clock and I'd go to bed, but then I would want to sleep in the next morning because I didn't have to be at work till later, and I would get up at like 8 or 9. So it was pretty much just working and sleeping. That's like all I did except for this weekend. My wife went out of town, so I just played video games the whole time and ate pizza. And
Wow.
Yeah, I advanced some more in Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. That game's weird though because you spend so much time on it, but you feel like you don't really advance the story a whole lot. Like you constantly...
Unless you're doing strictly story missions the whole time, but
right. But like I'm doing all the side stuff and just run around the world. Like it encourages you to stop. Like I stop at all the little side bases and knock all the guys out, steal all the materials, and then extract them all, get all the guns and stuff.
It's good to, and like that you said that, you know, with the encouraging you to do the other side stuff is all fine and dandy, but if you play the game and you are going to do that, make sure you, make sure you go on like a side op spree when you just hit like a monumental part in the story so you remember what happened last the next time you pick the story back up, because Christian didn't do any story lately, and he said the last thing that he did was encounter the story character named Quiet. And I mean, I don't know. I just thought that's what I've been trying to do. If I hit like a big chunk in the story, then I'll stop for a bit and then run around and do the other stuff and then come back to it later. Because I'm not going to forget what just happened if it was pretty detrimental to the story or what have you. So,
well, whenever new side missions come up, I just do them. Hey, I have a question though.
What?
When you unlock the combat missions, like the combat group
deployments,
it gives you an option to pick a different character when you deploy, like a different character than the Snake.
Yeah, you can play as one of your deployment or one of your extractions.
Does that make any difference?
No, they just play differently. I mean, if you compare their ratings to Snake, I mean, Snake has all A pluses. Well, I mean, I have some ones that are similar to Snake, if not the same, but
why? Like, what's the point of using a different one?
That's actually good. I have no idea the point. I know you get an achievement for completing a story mission.
Oh,
as Snake.
But you mean
as someone else? I'm sorry.
I did a side op as a different guy because I thought it would do it like automatically, like the combat deployment thing, but I guess not.
Oh no, you have to choose which missions you want your platoons to go out on and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
which is nice because if you're doing story missions, you can just have those guys go in and getting your materials.
Yeah, dude. I remember I told you a couple of days ago when we talked I had like no money. I never have any money because I always spend it on upgrading something. Well,
Right.
since I got the deployment thing where I can send the guys out, I think I have like 1.5 mil now. It's like ridiculous the amount of stuff you get, and I was always hurting for the materials, like the fuel. I was always trying to get the fuel to upgrade stuff.
The
Now
fuel's
I've
like
got
a really important one. It
a couple
sucks. 'Cause I
thousand.
also struggle with the fuel, but
We got like a couple thousand fuel things because you can upgrade. Not only do your guys get it on the combat missions, but if you upgrade this one part of your base, can't remember which one it is.
I want to say
Your guys
it's the base development.
maybe, but it automatically mines materials.
Yeah, it's base development.
So if you get that, if you do that, and then you do the other one where that refines them or processes them, you get crazy materials. Like I think I have, just from playing today, I went from like 2,000 fuel to 8,000 fuel, and that was in between upgrading stuff and buying stuff. So at least like you're accomplishing a lot of that kind of stuff, building the base and stuff like that. In the meantime, between like doing the mission, so you're accomplishing like small goals and stuff, but at the same time, just
You're
going
working
through the
towards
story, it'll take you a long time to get through all the main stuff. I really want to unlock the thing where you can go invade other people's bases.
Yeah, you'll get to that.
Which mission number is that?
It's
do you remember?
like 20 something. I want to say like mid-20s
Okay.
possibly.
I think I'm on mission 15. I'm on this one where you have to extract this scientist dude, and he's in like
Huey.
this crazy, like crazy base, like helicopter going around and stuff. And I failed it like 3 times. So
You failed it? Are you kidding me?
yeah, well, I'm trying to. I don't know. I'm not very patient, so I want to run around.
Really?
And
Do you know who you're talking to?
I don't know how you did it. You probably just went in there and
Exactly.
shot everybody.
You're right. I think I did do that with that mission. So
I thought about getting a rocket launcher and just shooting the helicopter, because the helicopter is the main problem.
I mean, helicopter. If you shoot it, if you have the capability to shoot it from like a distance with like a lock-on rocket, they won't know where it came from. So you can just run in, and you're still undetected essentially. So.
Well, I'll figure it out.
But yeah, I also made some pretty far advancements in Metal Gear. I
You said
texted
you thought
Christian.
you said you thought you.
Well, I
beat the game
texted
at one
Christian
point.
and I beat this one mission, and I swear it was like so much crap had happened, like leading up to this, and then you beat this mission, and you're like, oh, it's totally over, and it shows a cutscene, and it's like to be continued. I'm like, what? And it's like next time on chapter 2. I was wow, okay, well, great. And it sucks because things are already getting so intense and tense between people that I kind of wish the story would have ended, because I don't want to know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like in the coming parts.
You don't want to know.
Even, yeah, because like I just don't want people to die or anything.
Hey, people die. That's just what happens in life. Know what I'm saying?
No.
Oh. Sorry. Well, do you want to talk about the other game we played?
That crappy game?
No, the good game.
Not really, because I'm pretty sure everyone who has heard me say it before is going to make fun of me now, but whatever.
Just talk about it. I'm sure
All right, well,
if you want to make fun of Taylor, you can email us at thenewleafcrew@gmail.com.
Or just send me a message and I'll probably say something back to you, and you won't like yourself anymore. So just pick your poison. Oh, but this week, boring Saturday, and Christian's like a little girl. So
What? I was not a little girl.
he was like, we should buy the new Destiny.
No, that's not.
And I was like, well, like that sounds like a terrible idea. and I just moved my finances around, and I realized I had like a lot of money that I didn't really have to put towards anything. So I went and I used a GameStop coupon, and to appease Christian, and because I kind of wasn't interested in Destiny, the new one, we bought Destiny this week. So
what actually happened was we were playing Halo, and Taylor was like, "Is there any new games we can play? We kind of want to play a new game." And I was like, "Well, Destiny just came out. That's a good co-op game, like the new version." He was like, "Destiny sucks," like he normally does. But I had heard a lot of good things about it, so I was thinking about getting it anyways, even though most of the people I play with rarely play anymore. But it looked really cool. It looked like it kind of eliminated some of the grindiness of it, which I didn't like. So I went ahead and got it, and then Taylor got it. So Taylor, since you had not played it since well before, what was your guy, level 25?
24.
24, so he had not played any of the expansions or anything like that. I played a little bit of the Crota's, or what is it called? The Dark Below. And I played maybe a handful of missions in House of Wolves, but that was about it. I joined a couple of people on different parts of the Crota's end raid, but I didn't do the end game stuff on House of Wolves just because it was so much grindy stuff and I didn't have the gear required to go do it, and I didn't feel like just playing missions over and over till I got it. But as I was reading about the Taken King, they changed a lot of the way the game works.
That made it suck previously.
Yeah. Looking back on it, the year one stuff, I had fun. Like I put close to 400 hours in it.
Which was too much hours.
But that was all, it was mainly, I mean, it was fun like for a while. And then after a while, it was just fun to hang out with friends and do stuff. Like the actual game itself wasn't fun anymore because you were just like grinding away to try to get gear, or just doing the same missions over and over, hoping you would get lucky. But it was still fun to play with friends because the shooting in the game is just excellent. I mean, it's spot on. The game mechanics itself are really, really good. But where am I going with this? So since you didn't play it that much and you kind of dropped off faster than everybody else did, why don't you explain what makes this new one better or more enjoyable? Because you were saying the other day when we were playing, you were like, it's more engaging or something like that is what you were saying.
Well, I'll just go ahead and say this. I know that, I mean, what level were you, Christian, when you started playing?
I have 3 characters, and let's see, 2 of them were level 30, and 1 of them was level 28. Yeah. And I think the 30 was the highest you could get on, no, 30 was like in between.
35?
I think 20.
I thought 35 was the cap.
No, before, I can't remember if I was at the cap. I was not at the cap for Dark Below because you could get up to 34, I think, on that one.
Either way.
Yeah. Anyways,
so
I wasn't.
Were you?
I had
So
my main guy was
30.
level 30. Yeah,
So you spent what, 400 hours, right?
close to it.
Right, and that's what you ended at because.
Well, that was
reason,
that was with some of the new gear because I just went and bought, like when the expansions came out, when House of Wolves came out, you could go buy gear that was already higher level than the original raid
that
stuff.
alone was already unfair to all people that have already grinded like more time than you probably.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Bungie just did everybody dirty to begin with, but that's another topic for another day. But anyways, so he said he just spent 400 hours, right? So I didn't spend near as much time to get to my 24, obviously, because at 24, I don't think what level? Wait, 22, right? Was the level where you had to start getting special items, correct?
Level 20. Level 20 was the most you could get with XP, and then you had to get the gear to get the light level to level up past that.
Right. Okay. So Christian spent 400 hours. Me, no, I'm not going to spend that much time. So after realizing that that's what you literally had to do to even progress in the game, that's when I stopped playing. So, but just for whatever you want to say, reasoning, I started playing yesterday, and honestly, I mean, I haven't played that much. How long did we play for, Christian?
It wasn't that long. It was maybe
it was like
4
like
hours.
5 hours at
Something
max,
like
probably.
That, yeah.
Okay, so, and then I played maybe 2 more hours last night before I went to bed. So that's 7 hours total. And then today I played like an hour, and I was 24 last night when me and Christian started, and now I think I'm like 2,000 experience away from being level 40.
Yeah, and
like I'm already almost level capped.
I went from level 30.
Hours.
I went from level 30 to
38, I believe, or
something like that. 37, 38. Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's unreal that they knew how to make it so much easier and more enjoyable for people.
Well, they changed it too. They kind of did a 2-layered leveling system.
Right. So there's experience leveling, and then besides that, there's also a light system, which the light was there before.
They made it overall better this time because before it was only based on your armor. So you had to have, to get the highest level, you had to have all the armor, the highest,
exotic, right?
like the highest able to go. When you first got it, obviously it wasn't the highest level. You had to actually level the armor up too, but it was only the armor, and the stuff to get you the highest level was only raid drop stuff. And Taylor never played the raid, so he doesn't know about it. But me, I think I had to play. I got kind of lucky. I got lucky than most people. I've heard people say they had to play it for weeks and weeks and weeks to get stuff. I had to play it like maybe 4 times to get everything except the helmet. And the helmet you can only get on the hard raid, so you had to pretty much play the normal raid till you got all the other armor, then level all that up, and then play it again on hard however many times it took you to get the helmet. And so that took forever because you can only play it once a week on each difficulty. So It took me like a month and a half to get all the stuff required to level up to where I was. But now the light system is based on everything that you have.
Every single item
I don't know. Do weapons count?
Weapons count. Your ghost shell counts.
Yeah, the ghost shell has a light level now. The class item has a light level now.
Even your the ghost now even adds defense to you. I mean, he has a defense.
Right, and there's like some of them detect spin metal or detect
relics.
Spirit bloom.
Yeah,
they detect different stuff.
That's the one that I have. Like as soon as you come to an area where there's some kind of like obtainable item, like a little circle with a star. I don't think it's a star. I think it's just a regular old circle, but it will pop up above it so you can see it. So
it makes it way easier to look for minerals and stuff. But yeah, the light level now is determined by an average of all that stuff. So pretty much everything you get will benefit you in some way. Whereas before,
as long as it's a higher level than what you already have.
Yeah. Whereas before, I mean, unless you were doing the raid, nothing you were getting was helping you out at all. You'd get it and immediately you'd dismantle it.
Yep.
But there's a lot more.
That's so stupid. I'm sorry, but like after now knowing that that's how it was and playing this way, how it is now, I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous.
Pretty much all the vendors. There's other vendors that have like rep level now. Before it was just Vanguard, Crucible, and the faction guys. Now the gun vendor has a reputation, which I haven't done his stuff yet. I wasn't high enough level. But you can now like actually pledge to a faction. Before it didn't really matter. You would just wear the class item from that faction and get the XP or the rep or whatever for them.
Yep.
and it didn't really benefit you much except to get better stuff. Now I don't really know what it gets you, but you kind of like pledge your allegiance to a certain faction, and you can only do that once per week. And
there's just faction based missions, and then they a lot of them. I was talking to some guys that are like Destiny nerd, like horrible Destiny nerds this morning, and that's what they're saying. They're saying there's some missions you can't get with other factions, and the one faction will give you certain items.
But it kind of puts more weight to the factions where before you could just throw a thing.
Do whatever you wanted, pretty much.
Like I'm a warlock, so my thing's on the arm. You just throw whatever on the arm and just do stuff, and it kind of was like you didn't really feel connected. But now you kind of feel more connected to the faction that you're in. They changed up the Vanguard and the Crucible to where they're one thing now. That was a little annoying before, because most people had to either do Vanguard like single player or multiplayer stuff to really advance anything, because they were separate. Now I think they've kind of condensed them both.
And Crucible is a lot more balanced, it seemed. Because I played some this morning. The Crucible?
I haven't played it.
I did this morning, and I did really well. I led my team.
That's good.
So, yeah, we played this game. There's a new. I don't know if it's a new game mode. Was a game mode called Rift available when you played before?
No, I think that's new.
It's like what's that? You know, like game mode in Advanced Warfare Uplink, where you had to take the ball and throw it into the little circle. Well, it's something like that, but you take a spark of light and you ignite it, and then you bring it over to each team has a rift, and you have to throw it into the rift, like come up and dunk it in, pretty much like a basketball.
That's cool.
And then it kind of emits this explosion. So if you're around, you die. I mean, like if I run up on you guys and I would ignite the rift, everybody around you would die. I mean, you would die too. So it's pretty intense. But my team was kind of garbage. Like I had one guy that had 310 points at the end of the round, and I was like, "What have you been doing?" Like, so I was pretty mad about that. But
Crucible was always fun when you had a group of people, because, like I said, the gun play mechanics are really, really good.
Well, it just wow. Well, it just seemed like beforehand it was kind of unbalanced in my opinion. But
well, I mean, it did reward you. Like the regular Crucible was supposed to balance you, but it only really balanced the level. So if somebody had like a crazy good gun leveled up all the way, they still had an advantage over somebody who was like leveled, like the same actual level was all even. But if they had just one of the basic guns going up against somebody with like fully upgraded exotic, they were going to lose. So I don't know how it is now. And I know the Iron Banner. That's why I like the Iron Banner a lot more, is because like it would actually, I don't know, it seemed like it was more fair because you knew what you were getting into. Like you knew if somebody had better stuff than you, they were going to kill you. And that was the whole point. Where when you were in the normal, it was supposed to be just everybody's on even playing field, just kind of go in there and have fun. But it wasn't like that because of the weapon stuff.
They nerfed the shotguns, I read, because I was owning this guy he had a shotgun earlier. He was trying to get me with it, and I was just murdering him every time he ran into me.
When I was playing, people were using the Thorn. Last time I played, which I think was the Dark Below content, everybody had the Thorn because that was like the best gun at that time, and it would kill you in like 2 or 3 hits, and everything else like just wasn't working. So that was really annoying. Last time I played the multiplayer, I got mad and I turned it off because of that. But when it's it is a lot of fun when you have a full team of 6 people, like 5 or 6 people playing it.
I mean, I also want to touch on the interface. I mean, I think this stuff is brand new. I mean, like maybe I'll just talk about what I like about now, and maybe you can tell me if it's new or old. But
all right.
I like how I can now take quest, and I can have you can always house quest in your inventory, but now once I complete a quest, all I gotta do is just bring my quest screen up, and I can turn the quest in no matter where I'm at in the world. I'm sorry, bounties. Yep.
Yeah, the bounties, you always had to run back to the tower, which was...
Kind of
To
annoying.
some people, it was annoying. To me, it was slightly annoying, but not really, because usually when you go back to the tower, you have to decrypt your engrams and do all that stuff anyways. But it is a lot nicer now, especially now that you have, I think, 16 bounty slots,
Yep.
to where if you have, just like in the middle of doing stuff, if you want to just turn something in and level your stuff up, you can do it right there instead of going back to the tower. But it was always fun if you have like a whole row full of bounties to turn them all in at one time and just level all your stuff up crazy. But yeah, it's definitely, I know a lot of people wanted that. To me, it wasn't a huge deal, but it is nice anyways.
And just the way that, for example, I mean, if I have, like, I know I did one this morning, like on Mars fighting the Cabal. I had a bounty that was, I think it was kill like 10 Cabal Ultras or Majors. And instead of having to kill one and then look at my hit start and look at my quest progress, you can track quests now.
Yeah, that's
And all you gotta do
really...
is hit the back button on your controller, and in the bottom right you can look at your tracked quest. So,
And the actual, you're talking about bounties right now, but there is like
I'm
actual
sorry, I keep saying
quests.
quest. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a separate thing that's actual quest, and that's, I'm really glad they put that in there because it's a lot easier to follow the different
What's going
things.
on?
Yeah, because they
'Cause
have
usually
one.
when in the old one it was if you had a quest, it kind of just said here, this is what you're
Well,
supposed to do. Now
if you
go
had
do
a
it.
quest, you had to find it on the map. Like you had to go to the planet that it was on, and then go to the mission and hover over it, and there would be, I think there would be some kind of indicator over it saying that this is what you're supposed to do next.
Yeah.
But you never, like, you didn't know unless you're on that map screen. But now there's a whole other page for just the quests, and there's like a quest line for the Crucible. There's a quest line for Dark Below, House of Wolves, Taken King. I'm sure there would be a quest line for somebody starting out. There'd probably be one for the main story. And then there's some just kind of...
There actually is, because...
There's some just kind of normal quests. Like, I have one that's just reach level 40. I had one that was like, use Nova Bomb 25 times, like more class specific, I guess. But do you have because you never finished the main story, right?
No, I never finished the main story, so I have, it's almost as if I'm not going to say reset my main storyline, but I know that the mission, it says, the quest line is something like nothing left but the fall, and I think the information on it says, like, return to the Cosmodrome and hunt for parts to restore your ship's ability. And that's like the first thing you do, if you recall. Like in the game, you know what I'm talking about? So
yeah, you had to go get like the hyperdrive or whatever.
Right, and I mean I've obviously done that, so I'm not sure if the game just glitched up or something like that, but you're right, I never have beaten the story, unfortunately. So it's kind of annoying. But
It'll be fun going through the raids because you never did the raid.
I did a raid playlist for like 2 hours last night, so that was pretty.
There was an actual raid playlist? Are you talking about raid or strike?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about strikes. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, the strikes are cool. The raid, I don't think they have matchmaking for that, and I don't think they will add it. A lot of people want them to, but it's probably a better idea if they don't, because you really need to talk to people in that playlist.
And
it's
no one
better,
uses their freaking mics online.
Yeah,
so.
It's better to use like I think DestinyLFG.com is a website we used to use to find people
Squad
to do
up.
it with. Yeah, Squad.
Yeah.
But those are a lot of fun. And it was cool. The other day we were playing one of the missions, I think for House of Wolves, actually takes you into the raid area, the Vault of Glass, and you're in there doing stuff like where you fight the Templar.
Which was cool to you, but obviously to me...
Yeah, it was like,
cause...
I was going nuts. I was like, oh my gosh, like you never go in here because the door's always shut on the patrol. So it was crazy to go in there just doing a mission. I don't know, that sounds weird, but as many times as I've done that raid, it is just cool to be in that area without all that crazy stuff going on. But yeah, the raids are a lot of fun.
And the new abilities are very cool.
Oh my
the
gosh.
new class specific abilities are very cool. Yeah, Christian was having a fit with his. Mine's really cool. I don't know. I feel like mine's kind of difficult to use. Kind of have to get good with how it works, but I really enjoy mine. But
I wish that you were like the Titan or something because I really want to play the Hunter.
no, dude, that's my dude. No, it's pretty cool because I upgraded my. So that there's 3 new abilities. There's 3 new subclasses. Obviously, that's what we're talking about. So
Everybody knew they were coming too because there's always been whenever you open your character
blank
screen,
square.
yeah, there's always a blank square. But the new abilities, I don't know, maybe it's just because they're new, but they seem way cooler than the other ones. I don't know. But
no, I think
maybe
they are way cooler.
Well, maybe because they're more unique, I guess. Like the Titan, his is a lot different because it's actually range. You throw hammers, whereas before it was like a shield or like a ground pound. The Hunter had like a golden gun that did more damage. What was the other thing he had?
As an instant kill, and then the other one was a switchblade.
Yeah, you dash around and knife.
I forget what it's called, like Blade Dancer. I think is what that one was called.
The Warlock had the Warlock had
ball of death.
Right, the purple ball, the Nova Bomb, and then he had the self revive. So these are they're a lot different, and it's really cool. We played through the mission that you go to get it. It's like the second or third mission you get in the new Taken King storyline. And it's a single player mission, and you go, at least for the Warlock.
Each one is character specific.
Yeah, each one's character specific, so you got to do it by yourself. But for the Warlock, you go into one of the multiplayer maps, and I can't remember which one it is, but I think it's I don't know how to describe it at all.
The Hunters is the same way. I mean, like I told you guys when we were playing, that's what the one that I went on was that old,
yours
mossy, overgrown.
You had to go rescue some guy or something, right? That was your objective.
Yeah, Cade, which is now played by.
Well, Nathan Fillion's always played him, but he never really had that much speaking role.
He's verbally in the fight, which is nice because I love hearing him talk. But
we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, but anyways, my mission was his buddy is out in I forget where he was at, and he got trapped on the other side of this wall without his ghost, and he got cornered pretty much, so he got killed. And then Cade tells you to take his bow because, he said that he was there when he first got the bow, and he helped him get the bow, and he said that, whatever. And the bow is, super dope, so.
Super dope. Yeah, so the Warlock, I go into this place, and it's there's a storm going on. The normal map, it's regular daytime, just everything's normal. But when you go into this mission, there's lightning going all over the place. There's a whole pile of Vex in there. And you go to these different areas where the lightning's really coming down, and you have to kind of stay in this area. It says you have to meditate, but you just stand inside this circle, and there's 3 different ones that you go to, and then you get this storm power. And when you use it, you go all Emperor Palpatine. Your guy starts levitating, and he just flies around and shoots lightning bolts out of his hands. And it's ridiculous. It bounces through all the enemies. It's fairly short range though, so you got to keep moving and getting up close to him. But
yeah, you get right up
crazy.
On him. Which is cool because if we're in a pretty contingent area, I can jump up, shoot my bow into the middle, and my bow will tether to every enemy around. It's a ball of void light, void matter, and it'll tether all the enemies around and slow them and weaken them, and also kind of make them more susceptible to damage. And then Christian can just come in and just shock all of them. It just kills them almost instantly. It already almost kills them instantly. His does, but with that, I mean, it's just over. Like no one's gonna be alive.
It seems like the abilities kind of work better together now. I mean, they kind of did before if you played it right, but really it was really all about.
No, I
like,
mean, well, it depended on the
did.
character because the hunter was kind of off by himself. I mean, how is my 3 shots of instant kill with a gun gonna help you? I mean, really?
I mean, some of them would help, like the revive thing would help the team if everybody was dying. It was really useful in the raid. So, I mean, it would help out a little bit if you used it, but you couldn't use it in tandem, I guess. Like they didn't really work like that. Like you could use them, but it, like, I don't know what I'm saying. It didn't seem like they really fit together. But now, like you were saying, you can shoot your bow into the middle of a bunch of guys and slow them all down, and then I run in with the lightning and just blast them all. So it kind of, and we didn't play with a Titan.
They all definitely complement. Yeah, we did.
Well, he didn't use his thing.
Yeah, he did. Josh used it a lot.
Well, I don't know.
Anyways, but the Titans is cool and everything, but I don't know. I mean, I would not want to have that ability. I don't know. I just think.
Well, I never really liked the Titans. I didn't think they were really unique.
No, like was it like a mega, like a Falcon Punch, right? Is his one ability? Like,
yeah, he does like a ground slam or something. I don't know.
But yeah, overall, I mean, everything they've done to the game so far that I've seen has definitely made me enjoy it more. So.
The story stuff, they've done a lot better actually explaining what's going on. Before,
engaging the player.
Yeah, you had no idea what was going on. You were just going from point A to point B, shooting all the guys, and that was like the extent of what you were doing.
Yep.
But now there's like cutscenes and stuff where there's actual like character dialogue, and that goes back to what we were saying. Nathan Fillion, he voices the Hunter Vanguard. And
if you don't know who Nathan Fillion is, then first off, like I said before, you're dumb. But also, that's Buck from ODST and also from Firefly originally. But no one knows what that is, so
they better know what that is. If you don't know what that is, then go find out what that is, because
they probably don't know what that is. I mean, let's be honest.
The best sci-fi TV show ever made. Anyways, but there's like scenes where they're all the Vanguard leader guys are all kind of in this council, like debating over what they're gonna do, and like there's one where Cade gives you a mission and the other ones don't know about it until after the fact. So there's just more, I guess, involvement between all the characters. Before it was like you did a mission for one character and then you went and you did a mission for another character and it didn't really seem like they were connected at all. But now it's like everything's kind of more involved, like I was saying. And throughout the mission, you actually feel like you're accomplishing your goal.
Right.
Like there's a good mix of objective stuff and killing enemies, where before it was all like run from here to here, kill all the enemies in between, and then fight the boss at the end. But now there's like, it actually seems like you're trying to accomplish a goal.
Right.
But yeah, overall, just really, really good. I mean, this version of Destiny is what it should have been when it first came out. So I'm excited to see what's from here on out.
I'm pretty sure that they knew that the first year was going to suck.
Well, I was listening to IGN's Xbox podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was IGN. Yeah. But they were saying that something came out, somebody that had worked on Destiny who had left like shortly before the game came out had said some stuff, and then something else had just come out recently, some kind of legal something or PR. I can't remember exactly what it was they said. But basically, it kind of confirmed that the story was like majorly cut shortly before the game was supposed to come out. So if you remember, it was delayed. Like it was originally supposed to come out, I think in like
March, I want to say.
Yeah, like spring, and it got delayed back to winter.
September.
Or no, it got delayed a whole year.
to September. It got delayed to September.
No, I thought it was supposed to come out like in the fall or
I
fall,
want to say it
winter,
was
and
supposed
then
to come out in March and then got pushed back to September because I just remember I just looked at my achievements and my first achievement was like in September at some point.
right. Yeah, I
So
know it came out in September, but I think it was supposed to come out the year before that, and it got delayed like a whole year. But in either case, before the original date, like a couple weeks or like a month or so before the original date, it got majorly cut. Like a lot of the story stuff got cut out, and there's people that have like found stuff in the grimoire cards that kind of allude to that, like a deeper storyline than what was in the original game, and they pretty much confirmed, yeah, that happened. So it was kind of like a rush thing. I think that's why it was so bad. And then the two expansions were just slight iterations to like to make things better, and each one
it was like well, I mean it was like I don't know. I mean I feel like
they did make
them,
the game better, but overall it wasn't enough to really sustain it, I guess. But this update, I mean, this is like the definitive thing. So if somebody was interested in Destiny, now is the time to get it, I think.
Yeah, because every video that I watch, everyone's like the year one players, sorry, like they screwed you, and there's like year two players.
Yeah,
like,
I mean
congrats.
it kind of sucks because like me, I spent $60 on the game and then $40, like $37 on the season pass, and now $40 on
$40
this.
more dollars. Yep.
But
And I
honestly,
paid $50 for the game and all three expansions. So
yeah. But honestly, I'm not that mad because even though I didn't play the expansions a lot, I still put a crazy amount of time. I mean, more time in it than I do most games. So I feel like I got its worth out of it, even though most people would probably disagree. And there's still some people that complain like, oh, they're locking out stuff from the previous versions. And I think I talked about this before when we talked about this game like all the time on the podcast. But when the game came out, they literally said this is like a 10-year project that they're going to be continually building on and expanding. And it's like an MMO. Like if you buy World of Warcraft, just the regular version, and you don't buy any of the expansions at all, I mean, yeah, you can still play the game, but you're not anywhere near on the same like level of the game as everybody else playing it who has bought the new ones.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, like that, it is like it's an actual thing that people kind of got screwed with buying all that stuff and spending a lot of money, and it gets kind of locked out. But I mean, that's literally what the game is. So you just kind of had to ignore that and be like, oh, I didn't get what I paid for and all this stuff. Well, they said the game is going to change like a lot over 10 years. So you kind of have to expect that.
Right.
But
I mean, 10 years, that's a lot. I mean, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah. So I don't really know exactly how to phrase that, but I mean, there's people that don't feel either way. They're like, yeah, every Destiny was awesome for year one, and year two stuff's even better. And there's still, I mean, I know people that have played it nonstop for like the whole year. And then there's people like me who played it a little bit, still interested in it, but kind of it's had a hard time keeping my attention. But this update has kind of brought it back. And then there's
people
just
like
the
me.
people like the people like you who hated it at first, and now that it's better are getting back into it. And then there's just the people who complain because it isn't the same thing as it was when it came out. So
And you always have those complainers.
You can't please everybody.
Nope, you sure cannot.
Did we cover pretty much everything?
I'm trying to think if there's anything new and improved. that I felt was pretty neat. I mean, looking at stuff, I'm not really sure.
I'm not really impressed with the guns yet, but I've only got one exotic, and it's just kind of a basic
What's the
auto
blue?
rifle. What? The blues
is rare, right?
Yeah, the white
Yeah,
is
I
like
have
normal, the blue is rare, the purple is legendary, and the yellow is exotic.
You mean green is normal?
No, oh yeah, I missed a step. There's white is like basic, green normal, blue rare, purple legendary, yellow. Yeah,
I mean, and I don't have any purple yet, so
I don't either. And most of my like I have all blue stuff now, and all the blue stuff I have is better than the purple stuff I had from what I had before. So I think I had some for a while. I had some green stuff that was better than the purple I had before.
Wow, that's twice in one episode.
Shut up. I'm talking a lot. But I'm not going to get rid of my purple stuff because it's from the raid, so.
Wow, that's 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm trying to... Every person I talk to, I'm like, that's not Christian, because Christian knows that I'm like, have no idea what I'm doing, but as soon as I get in a party chat with them, I tell them, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, you're probably going to have to help me. So, help me. And they help me. So.
Well, that's how most people are in Destiny. People are really helpful. I mean, the people that you find on like Destiny LFG that are doing the raid, most of the time, sometimes they're not really dependable at all. But most of the time they talk, they're helpful, they like want to finish it. But yeah, it's a lot. The community of players that Destiny has is a lot better than a lot of other games.
Yeah, I think Bungie really helps with that. I mean, their website and their interface really kind of helps the players connect with each other. In my opinion, I mean, they've always been a kind of, except for when they like screwed everybody over with Destiny, they're kind of always been like a fan supporting, company. So,
right.
I don't ever do any of that online squad search up because I have friends to play with. So,
well, you kind of have to do it for the raid because you really need all 6 people for the raid, and most of the time, when it first came out, everybody was playing it, but now you'd have a hard time finding 6 people who would do a raid.
I don't know. I mean, that new raid, the King raid.
I think it came out this weekend, but I don't know.
It is out because a lot
played it.
A lot of people I know did it.
I want to do the Prison of Elders from the last one because I never did that, which wasn't a raid, but it was like a high level,
like an arena type thing, right?
Yeah,
we should do that like today.
Well, let's go do it. Let's turn this podcast off and go do it.
All right. Well, I guess final verdict is if you're thinking about getting this game, I would definitely, coming from a guy that I'm sure if you go back like a lot of episodes, you'll hear me talking about how crappy it was, and I'll tell you right now that it was really crappy beforehand. But now I would definitely recommend picking it up. At least if you've sold your game and been so pissed off at it like I was, I would definitely go back and just buy the copy of the game that I did for $60 and get everything.
Yep. And if you're like me who still has the game and bought the expansions, never played them, definitely this is a good way to get back into it.
Yep.
So that's
all right.
The end of the podcast. If you want to give us feedback, I know I haven't said this in like a long time. You can email us, like I said earlier, at thenewleafcrew@gmail.com. We have a Twitter account, which is at the New Leaf Crew. And we also have a Facebook page, which I think is New Leaf Podcast.
Well. Or New Leaf Podcast, yeah.
New Leaf Podcast.
Yeah.
So
how I know? I don't have Facebook.
Yeah, you don't have anything. It's pretty much me that controls all that stuff. So.
Well, sorry, I don't live on my phone like you do.
Well, I have stuff to look up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You do live on your phone.
Yeah, right.
You just don't live on social media.
Oh my gosh. Okay, dude.
Okay, dude. Okay, dude. That's disgusting.
That's the end of the podcast.
Yeah, it is. No, I'll start
That's
it.
not.
What?
I'm gonna respond to you like that when you say.
I'm not gonna say that.
No, I mean like. Whenever you say my name, I'm gonna say hi. How are you?
Okay. Why would you tell me that you're gonna do that?
Just so you know.
Well, thanks, I guess.
You're welcome.
Are you done eating or whatever you're doing?
Yeah, I can just mute it while I'm eating. Don't worry, you won't hear me chewing.
All right, we're gonna start.
All right.